Okay, so we're live. All right, this is a Run the Jewels production. This show is called EmVPs. My name is Patrick Julian. Today we have a panel of my sister, Emily. Emily, say hi. Or don't. Em, say hi.
Hi, sorry, no, my thing just froze and you're just pulling together, but now I'm good. Hello, everybody.
See it? Okay. Um,
Yeah,
and
now you're good. Now you're good.
my younger brother, Peter, say hi, Peter.
What's going on?
Okay. And today we got a very special guest, one of my best friends from college, probably the most die-hard Patriots fan I know, because we're about to have a big, long special about the Super Bowl and what it means and what it, how we feel about it going forward. It's my good friend Nick Toyas. Nick, say hi.
How we doing, everybody? How we doing? All you need to know. Back to glory. It's simple.
Back to glory, right? Exactly. So we're here to talk about the Super Bowl. We're very happy that the Pats won. We're all big Pats fans. We've had to fight through 10 years of heartache, and now that we're back on top, it feels good. We can rub it in all of our friends' faces because we all know too many New York fans, having gone to school with a lot of them. But that's beyond the point. So first, we're going to start off by just giving some general thoughts. Nick, I'm going to start with you because I feel as if you got plenty to say on this subject. What did you feel about the game? Just the first things that come to mind when you think about last night.
I'm going to tell you right now that I think that's the best Super Bowl the Patriots have been in.
Mm-hmm.
01, 03, 04 aside, I think that was the best game we've ever played and ever played in. Emotionally volatile, exactly what you want out of a Super Bowl, highs and lows, good plays, bad plays. I mean, a nail biter through and through. There's no other way to put it. I think that's going to go down as probably top 5 Super Bowls of all time.
Wow.
No, I would agree. Is it top? It's probably definitely top 5. I mean, we haven't been alive to see them all. I mean, we've seen tape of things in the past, but in my lifetime, best Super Bowl ever.
Oh,
I mean, it's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there. I mean, I really enjoyed the Cardinals-Steelers game.
Mm-hmm.
That one was just spectacular too. I mean, they all mean different things for the franchises and for the cities. The games themselves, just all back and forth games that you can think of. I mean, yeah, there were blowouts like Seattle, Denver last year, the Buccaneers, things like that happened. But yeah, I mean, you could make a strong argument for it to be the best Super Bowl of all time. I mean, I can see how someone could make a great argument for that. And it has everything you want. Had some injuries, had some highlight reel catches, some big hits. It had everything. It had everything you wanted.
Exactly. Give me like a brief cliff notes of your thoughts. Highlights.
I think one of the biggest things for me was the domination that we had in that first half until those last 30 seconds was insane. I sat there, I was like, we should be up more than this. We should be up more than this. To have that kind of, to be able to move the ball that well and to do the things that we did early, I was like, I really had a bad feeling because we weren't able to capitalize and things to do that. That fucking Jeremy Lane pick was insane. It was just idiotic, and of all people to get him to get that thing, and it's just not. I felt bad. So it was amazing to me that they were able to kind of. They did what the resiliency they showed is what they really had done all year, and I've seen it in person, and it's just remarkable. They had the halftime adjustments that they can make, and all those times when they were seemed out literally just about on the 1 yard line, and they pulled it out. It was spectacular.
Peter, what did you think about it? I know you watched it with a room full of New York Giants fans. With Nick and I are sympathetic too because we have those guys in our ear all the time, and last night was no different. But how was the game from your perspective?
Well, yeah, it was absolutely brutal dealing with New Yorkers. I mean, all these last 2 weeks, Deflategate and all the different pressers coming out from Bill and Tom and stuff like that, just constantly chirping about that.
Mm-hmm.
And physics on their ass to but I thought I was kind of surprised how fast the game was moving in the first half. I mean, there's like, 1 or 2 penalties. And it was like Katy Perry was on the field by felt like not even an hour and a half. So I don't know, that first kind of the tale of two halves, I thought. second half, definitely get a little shaky with those bombs that Seattle was throwing. I mean, I don't even know how many completions Russell Wilson had like under 30 yards in that second half. They just felt like they were all bombs, and then they just got down the red zone and whatever had Marshawn Lynch run it in, sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I agree with Nick. Just like had all the highs and lows that you want. Maybe later, if I can screen capture something, I'll show you some of the pictures I took of my friends reacting to everything. There's a couple good shots of people pulling out their hair from one side or the other. So we'll get to those later.
Real dramatic game.
Yeah.
I mean, great theater. We can talk about the game as it goes along. I won't start off by talking about the ending. We can build up to that, but yeah, I thought it was probably, like I said before, the best Super Bowl I've seen in my lifetime. And then we were in it and we won it. So I don't know how much more you can ask for. It felt good. It felt like exactly the way the Patriots would want to play. Dink and dunk, short yards.
Yeah.
Pretty good establishment on the ground too. I like the way LeGarrette moved the ball.
I disagree. I didn't like it that much.
You didn't like the way LeGarrette played?
Didn't have enough oomph. I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason that Brady broke the reception.
Compared to skills?
Well, there's a reason that Brady broke the completion record, and it's because I think they didn't have enough ground game.
It's true.
Well, I would say I think there was just enough ground game. I mean, here's Bill doing what Bill does best. The entire week you're hearing about LeGarrette Blount, Marshawn Lynch, two beast mode kind of runners. North-south, one-cut power backs. And Bill starts out and he shows you Shane Vereen for the entire first two drives. I think LeGarrette Blount maybe had 2 rushes in the first 2 drives. It was nice that we got a first down on just our first series. I know it never amounted to anything, but just to, get the nerves down a bit, because that first quarter is always a difficult first quarter for offensively, usually for teams, because they don't know. It's more or less you're feeling your opponent out, seeing what they're showing you. I thought the Pats did a good job doing a couple of different looks just to see how, who was going to match up on Gronk, how they're going to handle the outside. I mean, overall, LeGarrette Blount had a pretty awful day rushing the football. He was 14 carries for 49 yards, I think, or 40 yards. So,
Yeah.
I mean, nothing good. But, Vereen had only 4 carries for 13 yards, but his effectiveness was his play coming out of the backfield. I mean, Vereen had 11 catches. He led the Super Bowl in catches yesterday.
Wow,
I don't think none of his catches went over 11 yards, but he had 11 catches. I think he finished with 64 yards, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what the ground game, I think, did for us was not allow Seattle to get the pass rush they wanted all the time.
Right, yeah, that's true.
Michael Bennett was doing phenomenal things up front. I mean, he was really causing some havoc for Brian Stork in the beginning. But their ends weren't completely dedicated to the pass rush because there was we still showed that we had the capability and, in the game plan of running the ball, which I thought was great, because think about how many times Tom Brady got pressured or sacked in the first half, and our offensive line did a pretty good job, and I think that's partly because we were showing the run.
Right. Pretty good job. I was very happy with the way they performed, and obviously we all have nightmares of the O-line in the Super Bowl. It's always been a big problem against the Giants when we lost those 2, but I was really happy with the way they performed. I still think there's work to be done in the offseason and in the draft for the O-line, but I like the way they ended up. They did just enough to make it happen for us, and it was important. How do you feel about Russell Wilson's performance? I mean, and we should caveat this by saying that he's great. This is his second championship, and it's his 3rd year in the league.
Is he though? Is he great?
I mean, he gets there, and he's I don't think you can totally write off what he does. Like, I know he's certainly overrated, certainly. But I mean, he's there for a reason. He steps up and makes throws, but he'll also throw a couple picks, like we saw in the Packer game. But how did you feel about what he did yesterday?
I think he did fine. I think he did all the things he needed to do to a certain extent. Like obviously he didn't make a mistake until the biggest mistake. But I mean, even that. I mean, did you really? That may be on his coach more than that was on him. But it's just, I think he doesn't lose you the game usually, except for that moment, I guess. But really, I think his biggest thing is he doesn't lose you a game. I think he's the ultimate game manager. He's one of those guys. He's like your Alex Smith. It's like, he's never going to really truly lose you the game. Is he going to win you the game? I don't know. But I think he did fine. I think he did about what he did. He rides. He's got a great team. That's it. The Seahawks are a great team. The same way we were a great team. We also just have Tom Brady, who's the greatest human. But the rest of it is the rest of it. But it's just, I'm not overly impressed by him.
Nick, what do you got on Russell Wilson? I saw you shaking your head pretty furiously. So
here's the thing. I mean, I completely agree with M there to the fact that he's a phenomenal game manager. His athleticism is actually, I believe, his strongest point because not only does he make smart decisions, but he buys himself time in the pocket and he extends plays. So if your defense isn't in lockdown coverage for more than 4 or 5 seconds, he'll find the hole. He'll find someone who messed up for a quick second, and that's where Russell Wilson exploits you. Where I think that Russell Wilson isn't, I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback in the league just yet. Is because, look, I mean, he's just not a comfortable pocket passer. His their third down efficiency yesterday, they were 3 for 10 on third downs. That's not good. Either way you look at it, whether you were running on third and short or throwing the ball. I mean, his game plan is, the Seattle offense, it seems predictable. And they pretty much tell you, we play smash mouth football. And when you dedicate your 8th guy into that box, we will throw a fade or a streak or a deep post on 1-on-1 coverage. He has tall, lanky wideouts, and he throws a phenomenal deep ball.
Right.
But I thought his intermediary stuff was okay. He had a couple nice sideline routes. I think it was either it was Baldwin or Curse who dropped a pass in the third quarter.
Curse.
That almost would have sealed the game.
I think Curse.
And that was just a beautiful ball. But, otherwise, I was impressed. We got great pressure on him. I think, we had 3 sacks yesterday.
Which is good.
We definitely made him not feel comfortable. And there were times where we screwed up. We didn't break down. We definitely didn't break down in our rushing lanes. Chandler Jones, oh my God. But overall, I think we showed how you beat a Seattle Seahawks team for the most part. I mean, their offense was essentially 2 drives. One that happened at the end of the half, which we all know how that ended, which was atrocious. Just probably the worst 30 seconds of defense I think Bill's ever coached.
Probably, yeah.
yeah.
And then the last game, which, I don't blame Russell Wilson. I don't blame Pete Carroll. I mean, people like to do that. I mean, that's football. If they score a touchdown there, no one cares. It's all about the play that was made. But overall, Russell Wilson,
Right, you don't get overly excited about him. You don't go, oh my God, I'm so glad he's the quarterback on my team. He's certainly better than 2/3 of the league, but it's just
doesn't inspire a lot of enthusiasm. I'll give you that. He's good. He's great. I mean, he's there for a reason, but he's not. I'm with you. What do I want to kick to next? Okay, I wanted to get everybody's take on this. Peter, I'm going to start with you. When did you feel like we were in big trouble? Like I remember watching the game, and then all of a sudden the pit was in the bottom of my stomach. That's all too familiar with these past few Super Bowl ventures. But Peter, do you remember like a time when you or like your friends that you were with, you kind of felt like, oh no, we're going to drop this game too?
Yeah, I think maybe after that second deep ball, that what's his face, number 13, that
Chris Matthews.
Yeah, Matthews, that OBJ wannabe. That catch, I just got up and left for a couple minutes just to see if I could change the juju a little bit. But
homeboy didn't even like make a catch like right before.
No, that was his first catch of the game. Was his first career catch.
Yeah, out of control. Only that could happen to us. But
yeah, right. So I feel like that was definitely the point where I was shaking my boots a little bit.
Nick, when were you and Peter Toyas pulling out all of the hair that he doesn't have in his head?
Well, I mean, I'm a huge pessimist when I watch football. Only because I break down everything. I mean, you could say I felt bad after I saw. I mean, I called the Tom Brady his first interception he threw to Lane, only because you see Tom's footwork, and I saw him throw a football off his back foot, not stepping up and backing away. which is the fundamentals of how you throw interceptions or bad passes in football. He threw the pick. I mean, so like right then and there, I was just like, that's 3 points you leave on the board. And, it's not like regular season football where sometimes it's worth it to be gutsy and, maybe you get 7 or maybe you go for 3. You know what I'm saying? In the Super Bowl, especially in the first half, you take points when they're so precious. They're invaluable. And it just showed right there. I mean, you could have been up. It would have been I thought it should have been a 17-7 half for us.
Oh, absolutely.
And when they scored at the end of the half, going into halftime, I wasn't too mad because Super Bowl halftimes are 29 minutes long, usually. That kills momentum for either team. Unfortunately, New England came out flat-footed, and then Seattle, was able to capitalize on 2 straight scoring drives. And, I mean, I was nervous the whole game. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think I sat down once.
I'm no surprise there. I'm not surprised. Emma, when did you feel like the biggest knot in your stomach?
Well, I think, like I said earlier, I really that first half made me uncomfortable because I was so frustrated that we weren't dominating like it looked like we were, or the scoreboard didn't dominate the way the play was. So that happens, and like Nick said, you come out of half and you don't make the adjustments you were looking to make, even from the jump. Like, truth be told, I because of where I was watching the game, I got there incredibly late, and I literally walked in to when they were lining up for kick, and I saw that we were kicking the ball off, and I was like, wait, we lost the toss?
How dare
Like,
you?
I was like,
Yeah.
you can hear me, you can't.
No, I said, how dare you?
Yeah, no, oh, listen, wasn't my fault. But I was like, are you shitting me? Like, we lost the toss? We're not getting the ball? Like, that made me uncomfortable. But, I mean, I didn't, and I always feel this way, and the 2 Super Bowls we lost, I always don't like the fact that, like, and when we won the first or 2 of the 3 the first 2 that were close, we had the ball at the end of the game. And the 2 that we lost, we didn't have the ball at the end of the game. So the fact that when we scored, and there was time left, I was like, fuck, there's time left. And this is what's going to happen. And then the catch happens, and I was like, yep, it's over. Now I'm going to walk away. I almost walked out. But I think
all right, let's do the catch. Let's do the catch then. The Javon Curse on his back catch.
Javon Curse is not his name, but that's okay.
What's his first name? Homeboy's name?
I don't know, but it's Curse is his last name, but it's not Javon Curse.
Nick, what's his first name?
Jermaine.
Thank you. Jermaine Curse on his back. Malcolm Floyd, defends the pass.
Floyd, come on, Patrick. It's Malcolm Butler.
Malcolm Butler, yeah.
Poor boy. Everyone needs to know his name now.
I had Malcolm Floyd on my fantasy team. He's still stuck in my brain because he didn't do much. So I'm real unhappy with him. So Malcolm Butler, he defends the pass as best as he could, and Curse still comes up with it on a David Tyree on steroids effort. Nick, what do you got on that situation? How'd you feel?
I mean, I think I felt how every other New England fan felt. And if you remember the look on Tom Brady's face when it happened, it's exactly how everyone felt. I mean, it's like, is this happening again? It's felt surreal. It felt like it was deja vu for the 3rd time. It's like, I'm pretty sure we had a David Tyree catch on that field 6 years ago. We had a Mario Manningham catch the second Super Bowl against the Giants, and then now there's this. In a way, I mean, I didn't feel that bad after the catch. I was like, there's not a lot of time. There's got to be something. There's got to be a football god out there who's saying, okay, this can't happen. But the part was they were picking on Butler, I would say almost all the evening for their deep ball. I mean, yeah, one of them was on Kyle Arrington in the first half, Chris Matthews' first catch, and then again on the goal line for the touchdown at the end of the half. But that last drive was, I think, 3 attempts all at Butler, and he was doing a good job. I mean, you can't ask more out of
coverage. He was playing awesome coverage.
I know. I mean, you can't ask more from an undrafted free agent who didn't see a snap against Baltimore, and I thought he did a great job. You can't do anything about it. That's the Super Bowl. That's what happens in the Super Bowls. That's what makes them great games. You have these spectacular plays that are just made by sometimes, the best athletes in the world, and sometimes by no-name people who will probably be forgotten in 5 years, other than for the catch.
it's almost automatic too lately. Like that something out of control will happen like that, or the Manningham or Tyree, or even the past three Super Bowls have we've had safeties that
Yeah.
like started with safeties. Like that's out of control. Like where does that happen ever in the league? But it's almost a given. Pencil it in for the big one. But yeah, crazy. Peter, you got anything on that catch or?
Peter, did everyone just shove it in your face in that moment? Were you just like wanting to leave
Oh,
the room?
absolutely. And then right after NBC puts the
Tyree
whatever the
catch up.
Tyree catch, all the Giants, even the Giants fans were like, oh, that's a low blow. Like even they were like that. I'm like, friggin' NBC. But yeah, I don't even know. Like how many times does that happen? Like I can't remember like a couple like in the like as long as I've been alive watching like football games and crazy ESPN top 10 plays. How many times has that happened? Never mind on this stage at that late point in the game. I mean,
Not many. Not many.
I
so.
love Bill's response to it too when they asked him at the presser post, Bill, have you ever seen that type of a catch be made before? And he's like, yeah, I've seen two of them. Like, so not impressed, Bill, which is great. That's why we
Not
love
impressed.
not impressed. And then all right, Pete, I'll keep with you. When Malcolm Floyd jumps the
You did
pass,
it again.
I did it again. When Malcolm Butler jumps the pass and just takes it away from the receiver on the 1 yard line. How did you feel, especially you, because you were in like, was there any other Patriots fans you were with?
There was okay. So here's the setup. So it's like maybe like a little bit over a dozen of us. I'm trying to find. Hold on, stick with me for a second. I was trying to screen share something. First of all,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
that doesn't happen. People don't catch that ball when your
That's true.
arms are on the ground. What? But yeah, so it was about a dozen of us. My roommate, his old roommate, and I think were the three Pats fans, and everyone else was either they all had technically no rooting interest in it, but they all just didn't want to root for us. So that was basically it. But I have a before and after of that play. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So this is
I thought you.
this is Mike and Jack. Mike's pulling his hair out, and then once he catches it, and Adam's the biggest Pittsburgh fan in the world, so he hates us. And then after that, Adam was not holding his hand. So that's pretty much the reaction in the room. Everyone's freaking out.
How
Graz,
dare your friend wear a
he's-
Yankees? That's
he was in full.
Hater
New Yorkers
mode.
is full Yankees. It's just ridiculous. But I mean, I don't know. It took me a while to even. We were so sure that it was all just gonna come crumbling right at the end, like it did for the last two. So I don't know. It's kind of disbelief, I guess.
crazy.
That's awesome.
Emily, what do you got on Malcolm Butler just beating up Ricardo Lockett for that ball at the end?
So, it was funny when I was in the room with the person I was with. He literally stopped and Alex was just like, I just want to pick, and literally, like bang bang, it happened. And I was like, oh my god! And the whole game, like you're looking for a turnover. You're looking for a turnover. I was like, you need a turnover. But that kid, man, I mean, from the jump, we heard about him in camp. Everyone's like, this kid, Malcolm Butler, and it was really like, I mean, he is everything you want out of a story of somebody who just works their tail off to figure it out. And like I was reading a Rap Sheet article. That Rap Sheet said that like he knew the play. He knew the play was coming. He read it pre-snap. So he knew that he was like, there's no better time for me to jump this route than now because he knew it was coming. And the fact that kid, like Nick said, he didn't have a snap in the Baltimore game. So he does that much study that he knew the play. And so he just did it. And, I mean, he's right. No better time to gamble than then. And what a stupid play call.
Oh my God, yeah.
Stupid.
We're gonna get to that, Nick. I want to hear just your thoughts on the achievement of Butler taking that away from Lockett, and then you can also roll into the questionable call if you're unhappy with that call by Pete Carroll or what.
Well, here's what's leading up. So we have the catch, and then the play after the catch, I thought was the game, was a Marshawn power left, just a run, and I could have sworn he had a free lane to the end zone. And he gets to the half-yard line, and I thought he was going to score right then and there. I'm looking at the clock. It's winding down. No one's calling timeouts. We were all screaming, "Why isn't Bill calling a timeout?" Like we had the assumption that that they're going to run the ball again and he's going to score. And then we kept in a goal line package, but we kept 3 corners. It was a 3-corner goal line package. So it looked like we brought in our heavy set, our big boys. So I'm assuming that Pete Carroll and company were waiting for some sort of play. I thought it was going to be a bootleg or a play action kind of thing. And this is what Bill does. He drills formations, route combinations, timing into every single defensive player's head. Like, this is what it's going to look like. This is how you got to beat it up. And Malcolm Butler, you can't ask for anything better. Phenomenal read, first of all, to establish what your situation was. And the jump itself, I mean, he's 5'9", 187, so it's not like he's a huge guy. And not only did he beat Lockett to the point of the ball, but absolutely,
put him on his ass.
Yeah, he handled him. Right when I saw it, I tackled my 6-year-old, one of my dad's buddies, and I just bundled him. And I just immediate euphoria. Just a great play. I mean, in terms of the call itself, everyone's going to, come at Pete Carroll. Here's the thing. 2006, Pete Carroll's coaching USC in a national championship game against Texas. USC's running back is Reggie Bush. Pete Carroll has a 3rd and goal with maybe a minute and a half left, and Reggie Bush comes out of the game, and Pete Carroll decides to call a similar pass like that you saw in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And I forget, I believe was it Palmer who was their quarterback? Threw a pick, doesn't matter. Threw a pick, and I'm surprised that Pete Carroll didn't learn from that mistake. I don't get why they didn't run, or at least not necessarily have to run the ball, but you didn't do a bootleg. You didn't get your mobile quarterback in a mobile situation. You had Russell Wilson with Russell Wilson's worst attribute is as a quarterback, and that is pocket passing. It was a 3 or 5 step drop, and just blew it. It's a catch and release kind of throw. Yeah, look at that. It's a great pick.
So what do you got there?
I got the catch there, and he's putting him on his butt too. It's perfect.
It's awesome.
I love the gifs / or whatever gifs / memes out there of what's his face,
Sherman.
The reaction. Sherman after just the complete disbelief.
The horror on his face that my
it's great.
God.
It's great.
It was the most sad. And then to match that with Tom's just giddy self, it was just God, is everything I love about sports. It was in this couple and
Tom's slap hands face. The slap hands. Slap hands face. But he's the greatest. But the play itself was phenomenal. I almost felt like Nick, you were mentioning earlier how when Curse made that grab, it almost felt unfair, almost too cruel. All right, the football gods don't allow for that. 3 times of that is cruel and unusual. So I kind of had this weird feeling there's an outside chance we'll just pick this ball in the end zone or something, and then we could still be fine. And then it happened, and I was beside myself. I was with our good friend Dennis, and he was on the ground in euphoria as well as everybody. But that kid, Malcolm Butler, man. I mean, he was working at a Popeyes, and then he got his chance at a community college. Went to Western Alabama after that. Goes undrafted, and we pick him up. And everybody wants to get on Bill for getting these guys who they come out of nowhere and they're 6th, 7th round talents. But man, is it sweet when somebody like Malcolm Butler or Edelman has a day, or even Tom for the most part coming out as a 6th round pick and everything. When those guys achieve greatness, it feels a little bit more sweet than I don't know, Revis picking that ball. I mean, it would be no matter what, but for it to be that kid, pretty cool.
But you know what's nice about it is that you have Bill missing a lot in the early rounds of his drafts. I mean, we haven't drafted especially well, especially in recent years. But what the Patriots organization does so well is that the goal is to get talent on your roster and then get that talent to fit your scheme. And that's what the Patriots do well. They develop anyone who they find has some sort of knack. So Butler's apparently his forte is pass defense. They liked his shutter time. They liked everything about him. They find a way to develop the player into what they need, and they use him specifically for specific things. I mean, there's the mantra: just do your job, do what we have you practicing and learning, and the implementation of bringing what Butler offers to the Patriots and having them execute it when it's time that's the Patriot way. That is honestly how we've always done since Bill started. That's how everything's been done. I don't care. He doesn't care about the name on your back. I mean, maybe other than Brady, but he does not care because he coaches these kids, these men.
To win.
Yeah, coaches these men for these specific moments.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Pretty great. Let's get into. Go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say my game wasn't what my. Here's it is. You're down 24-14, fourth quarter starting, biggest fourth quarter deficit to start. In the Super Bowl. The Patriots get a crucial stop early in the fourth quarter. Seattle goes 4 plays, -5 yards, fantastic. And then we have a phenomenal 9 plays, 68-yard drive, leading to that Amendola touchdown in the back corner. Perfect. It was 24-14 sounded awful, but 24-21 sounded like we were gonna win the game. I don't know how it worked. It just felt like 24-14 felt like this game's over, but 24-21 felt like this game's ours. I don't care how much time's left. I think there was like 7 minutes and 55 seconds left when it was still 24-21. And then we get another huge Seahawks stop. I mean, they go 3 plays, 5 yards, only have the ball for a minute. And that last drive, which, just 10 plays, 60 yards, 4 or 5 minutes long. Brady on, I think it was third and 8 or third and long.
It was long, yeah.
The pass to Julian Edelman where he absolutely got bundled. He got hit as hard as a wide receiver gets hit in the NFL running a cross route. And Cam Chancellor ruined him. And I don't even know how he got up to run. I mean, yeah, he was down. But that play right there was I thought that was the game. That was the moment where I knew we were going to score in that drive. Because Tom Brady, his pocket was collapsing. He stepped up perfectly, threw an absolute bullet, like a 24-year-old rookie bullet. And Edelman with a grab that, other than the curse catch, I thought that was your catch of the game.
You're right about this drive before our game-winning drive that was huge that they cut them off. They 3-and-out them in less than a minute because there's plenty of time you can run your 5-minute offense and just feel fine about it. And yeah, I mean Edelman just did everything that Wes Welker didn't do, and just talk about validating that point was just unbelievable. He was just the man.
Yep.
Could have been MVP. Probably should have been MVP if it wasn't for Brady breaking records.
Yeah, very possible that he could have been, definitely. I just want to switch this up to, this will be the second to last quick topic, but the commercials. I want to talk about these commercials.
Yeah, some of the fun stuff.
What? Okay, yeah, okay. Let me just start this commercial thing. Did NBC have some socially responsible lean to this production or something? I mean, they were nice videos, and I'm not saying these topics aren't important, but where's the funny Gatorade commercial or whatever? It was just all kids and puppies and make sure your kid doesn't get hurt, all this weird stuff. Some of these socially conscious ads for the Super Bowl. I don't really get it. What do you think? And what do you think the mindset of that production team was?
So the production team is not really, it truly has. There's no one random watching, but I'll tell them anyway. I dabble in sports television a little bit.
Wait, hold on. There might be eventually. Relax. All right.
Well, is there anyone live watching us right now? There was today.
No, there's nobody live watching today.
Right
now, but, no.
Okay, well, so I have some experience in TV trucks, and as far as I know, which is not much, but as far as I know, they got nothing to do with it. That's traffic. That's a whole other department that works that out. So the TV The guys in the truck have no idea. I'm sure I'm sure if anyone was looking up watching the commercials, they were laughing at them. But I mean, yeah, it's just I didn't understand, and it was like ad after ad after ad. It was like the second and third quarter, they're really down and depressing, and like the fact that, I mean, Pat, I want to know what your take on, like, if Nationwide's putting out a statement as to why their ad was so depressing. In a way, did you win that? Because now we're all talking about you. I mean, not in a good way, but we're still talking about you. I don't know. What is the point of those ads? Is it to talk about them or what? I don't know. But Nationwide, man, that was fucking brutal.
I'll give it to you in a second, but Nick, what did you think was the best and worst?
Okay, well, this is going to sound like a Homer thing, but I really enjoyed that Liam Neeson Clash of Clans.
A Homer thing, because only me and you would get that because we know your affinity for Clash of Clans.
Oh, man, I was laughing the whole time. I was texting all my people who I play Clash of Clans with, and we were like, it was perfect. I also enjoyed, I honestly, I can't remember who it was, but there was the no taxation without representation, like the TurboTax, and that was great. In terms of the worst one, I mean, I understand the empathetic reasons why so many marketing agencies and ad agencies try to do that during the Super Bowl. I mean, like, you're always going to have animals, you're always going to have dogs, you're going to have these sad yet uplifting stories because you're trying to play to, the biggest variety of audience. You got 114 million people watching. In a whole, I was probably the worst ads during a Super Bowl, I think, of all time.
Like as a unit, yeah, I agree.
They were bad across.
And the movie trailers. What was up with the movie trailers in the trailers for? Oh God.
That's another pod. That's the next pod. But we can brief if you want to. But yeah. So my favorite was probably the Doritos commercial where the guy doesn't want anybody to sit next to him on the plane. So he's like, oh, I got IBS, or like, oh, like I'm coughing like crazy, or he's just stretching out. I thought that was pretty clever. And then the hot mom comes up and he lets her sit down. They're always pretty good, Doritos. They always, for the most part, can hit one out the park. And you better when you're spending $4.5 million on a 30-second spot, which is out of control. The Nationwide stuff, I'll maybe speak to in a second, but my least favorite one was that Coca-Cola ad, because I expect a lot out of Coca-Cola because they're Coca-Cola, and their marketing people should be wizards just because by association. And that ad they made where, like, they have their Coca-Cola goes through the streamway of the, internet superhighway or whatever, and it affects, like, all these, like, text messages, and I think it said, like, at one point some kid was reading his text, like, nobody likes you, and then it turns into via Coca-Cola, there's nobody like you or something. Like, lazy. Like, this lazy. I was insulted as somebody who considers, myself a creative marketer and want to be more of someday. Like, that, what are we doing? Like, let's put our heads together a little bit better than that. Like, that seems a little silly. Like, just because you drink Coca-Cola, now everything's great in your life. Like, come on, kind of rudimentary. That was my least favorite because I just expected more out of them. The Nationwide thing, I don't know what that was. It was just
aggressive.
to definitely grab attention. I kind of went backwards on them, definitely. I mean, when you have to come out with a PR statement an hour after your ad airs to kind of clarify what you're doing, you messed up. That's not good. You're supposed to have it be crystal clear with your message on the ad itself. But I don't know, man. A lot of people are not happy about that. I had somebody who I was with at my Super Bowl parties say, like, did these people really consider those people who have lost kids to, like, let's say a cancer or something like that, and now they're just being reminded of it in, like, a really brutal way in the biggest stage of commercial advertising. So I don't really know what their thought process was. I'm sure it was to grab attention. Insurance is insurance. So, I mean, I don't know how much of a hit
How creative can they get?
Yeah, well, not even that. Just like, are they going to take a huge hit because they're like, oh, I'm not going to insure my house with them because of it seems like it's a kind of a moot point, but that's for, consumer behavior experts to analyze. But not good. Yeah, I'm with you. Not good. The whole thing as a whole was not good.
I thought or what? How about that stupid Viagra Fiat
Oh,
commercial.
awesome. I thought that was great.
You thought it was
I
great?
thought that was
I don't
great.
know.
It was hilarious.
It's
Laugh out loud funny.
kind of good, I guess. But I like the commercials during Super Bowl, the ones that like you don't really know what's going on and you have to go like look it up. I thought Squarespace did a good job with that. I think they'll probably see the biggest return on their investment for that kind of ad.
We're about the Squarespace. Squarespace, an official sponsor of the pod, whether they know it or not.
Yeah, official sponsor.
As well as On It, as well as
On It, as well as many other.
As well as Buy brands. Jake Haddon will be on the pod later.
Yeah, I thought. Just lost train of thought, Pat. That plug.
You're going Squarespace and.
Squarespace. Oh, I thought. I think it was Chevy, the one that did the thing where like looked like your TV broke or something like that, or GM or something. That was kind of clever. You got to do something. You got to do something. I don't know, something a little bit different than like. Also, they're just like Toyota just put out like a random ad, like just like an everyday kind of ad. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
it's a safe. Yeah, you put out a safe one.
Yeah, just safe. Come on. But that's my thought.
You cut out a little bit, so maybe you talked about this already and I just missed it. But I couldn't believe the volume of NBC. Like they're plugging their own shows and all the movie trailers. I mean, some of them were great. Like I loved the fact that the Pitch Perfect one was in there and the Tom Brady Ted 2 one was very well placed, obviously. But I just was shocked at the volume of those that they were, and the repeating of those was just kind of nuts.
So most of those are Universal. So NBC Universal. Most of those are Universal Pictures.
Well, yeah, I didn't have a problem with the NBC. I mean, that's why you're paying $6 billion for the rights to the Super Bowl, so you can plug your own shows. So I don't really have a big problem with that. It's just, what NBC, what really just got me mad? It had nothing to do with the ads. Chris Collinsworth.
He sucks.
Oh my God, he's a bandwagon announcer. So when the Pats are doing well, oh wow, these Pats are real good. Tom Brady's throwing the ball efficiently. And when the Pats were down, well, the Seahawks are really good. Tom Brady can't do anything. But oh my God.
Russell Wilson's scrambling. Like, come on, guy. We know he can scramble.
Ugh, it's gross. It was gross. I mean, I can't. Yeah.
And I'm not a huge Al Michaels guy either. I think he's kind of just blasé. I don't like his calls. Like, even listen to the interception call. He's like, it's intercepted. Like, guy, it was unbelievable. Get a little more excited than that. Obviously, don't go Zolak on me, but still, like, have a little enthusiasm when you call a game.
Oh, he can go Zoe on me if he wants, because Zoe crushed it last night. I was listening to his calls, and oh my, I mean, Zoe is the ultimate Patriot. I love listening to that guy, and his show during the week from 10 to 2 is hysterical.
It is. I listen to it too. I listen to it at work. It's awesome.
Beatles
Can we do halftime? Can we do a halftime show too for a second? How badly did you want to be Left Shark?
Left Shark.
Left Shark.
My roommates were all about next year Halloween, someone being Katy Perry and someone being Left Shark. I think that would be the best costume ever.
It would be.
If people remembered for that long. But love the Missy Elliott inclusion. That's pretty much the best part of that.
Definitely.
I could do it with Lenny Kravitz, but it was kind of an odd. I would have liked if they did like a Hunger Games thing and her dress caught on fire and stuff like that. I think that would have been a good time.
When she's on the tiger.
Yeah, the tiger looked like a female lion, which I was proponing, but I don't know. You can only do so much when it's all made of metal or whatever. But
Nick, you got anything?
I didn't even watch the halftime show.
Oh my God.
Well, everyone watches it, but I see, for me, it's football. I don't care about Katy Perry. Don't get me wrong, she's a beautiful girl, but like I was outside, I was talking with my buddies, we were breaking down the game plan. What adjustments are we making? Where can we go from here? What play calls didn't work? I mean, the football, it's just for, I'm not misogynistic here, but it's strictly for the women or young adults who don't really care about football but are probably watching it because what else are they going to do? So let's appeal to the masses kind of thing, where the real football fans could not care less about the halftime show because they're worried that their two teams are going to war right now, and there's just a truce for 28 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah. Obviously, Nick, we know you're a purist through and through, so I'm not surprised at all that you just said no, thank you to the halftime show. Peter, like I said, I agree. Best part about that was Missy Elliott coming out.
Oh yeah.
I got generally, I think I was having a conversation with a friend of Nick and mine, but all of a sudden we heard that Missy Elliott was out there, so we stopped and like went and looked.
Yeah, right.
Oh, 100%. I was helping Alex doing homework, and all of a sudden I heard her come up. I was like, nope, pause. I need to dance to work it. Like, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
not.
She had a weave and a half going too.
Yeah, she's
It was
got
something
it.
else.
She's still got it, man.
Oh yeah.
Time capsule. She's a time capsule.
How old is she?
Old. Definitely old.
Like
So
50?
old.
32. No, I don't know. She's definitely older than that, but she looked it. I don't know.
She's definitely in her late 30s.
No, she's 43.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. So there you go, and still getting it done. All right. So I just want to leave, end it maybe on the note of anybody's final thoughts. Maybe what this means for the city. So now so we won 1, 2, 3, 01, 03, 04 with the Pats, 04 again with the Sox.
It's 9.
9 and 13 years.
9 and 13 years. So I want to just real quick, give like final thoughts. If we can continue this momentum, all of our teams like this, our 4 majors, if we can sustain the success, and then anything you might have going into next season. I know it's very early, but maybe some preliminary baby thoughts on 2015 season, because now we're actually looking forward to it in a good way, not in this bad like oh god way anymore, which obviously.
Here are my 3 takes. I'm going to give you one giant Boston thing. Although all good things come to an end, what our market does well is we always are constantly looking to win now. Even though the Celtics right now are mediocre at best, they're still a great young team, and I'm really excited for the team in general. The Bruins have a great young core. They're hitting a good stride right now. I mean, they should have had 2 Stanley Cups. They only got 1. The Red Sox, I mean, that's probably the most volatile team we have in New England. I mean, I don't know how baseball works anymore, because you stack up, you buy all the best players money can buy, and you're atrocious, and then you have a mediocre team that just gels and you win a World Series. So I mean, I don't know about that.
True.
As far as the Patriots,
I was just gonna tell you. I feel like with the Sox point, they're our only team that has the best chance to string it together like on a whim and just come out on top. But continue, Nick.
Well, as far as the Patriots, I think the 3 biggest things you got to look out for is lot of re-signing to do. I mean, I think you're going to have to let go of Stephen Ridley. I think you're going to see the Patriots let go of Gerard Mayo. That's 2 years of season-ending injuries. At least he's got to take a cut if he wants to come back. I think Amendola is going to have to take a cut if he wants to come back, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, he had a great Super Bowl, but he's just not worth that kind of cap room. And to be honest, I think Revis wants to come back to the Patriots. He just won a Super Bowl in his first year, and I know he's the best mercenary money can buy. But I mean,
see how happy that guy looked. Whew.
I mean, no offense to Rex. I mean, I know Rex and the Jets are going to push hard for him, but we have to pay that man. If there's one man in the NFL other than a quarterback that deserves that kind of pay, it's either Des Bryant or Darrelle Revis.
Agreed.
Solder, they got to re-sign Solder too.
Oh, get rid of him. He's done. I hate Solder.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
McCourty, we got to pay McCourty too.
McCourty, you can pay. You can pay McCourty, but I mean, here's the thing. Solder and Vollmer are 2 giant men whose footwork is atrocious, and they would be so much better at their positions if they learned how to properly play the position. I don't know what it is. I mean, you're getting beatouts. I mean, they played great Super Bowls, sure. I mean, I'm sure that Bill had been all over them. I mean, since you all know Week 4. But I mean, I'm not sold on him. I mean, if he's going to demand market value for a starting left tackle, I see you later, pal. No, by no means would I be willing. I'd rather take a vet, someone who knows. Like, I mean, Tom Brady's going to be 38 entering next season. He's looked good. I mean, avocado ice cream apparently is like the new drug of the world. But no, he really. I'm not. Solder can go for all I care.
Fair, all fair. What do you got?
Quick shout out
Um,
to Skippy Peanut Butter. All right, go
yeah,
ahead, Ed.
right. Juice Fat, another sponsor of ours.
Unofficial.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. It's nice to win one. It's nice to see these guys win. I think for me, I've watched in my whatever young adult life, I've seen everybody win, and I haven't seen really appreciated this win. So I'm really happy about it. And I think, you know, uh, just next year it's just another year. But I mean, I don't see any kind of major market changes. I mean, there's no reason, barring major injury, we shouldn't be right back in the AFC Championship game again. There's no reason why not. And anything we'll be in a better position than we were last year because, you know what, the Broncos are only getting worse, and the Colts, I don't know, Chuck Pagano doesn't scare me.
Who's gonna give it to us? Really?
I don't.
It's a Pats Packers Super Bowl next year, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's
So,
all in San Fran, we're going to that one.
yeah. No. Hey,
I
listen.
already bought my ticket.
CBS has the game, so let me tell you, I'm trying to work it, but I don't know how that'll go if I'm allowed to. But my boss is actually named Chris Matthews, and I'm gonna give Chris a call and like, bro, I want to go. But yeah, so it's just I think there's no reason to get there. There's no reason. I mean, I feel like I'm Felger when I sit there and say, I mean, it should be Super Bowl or bust again. There's no reason why it can't be. And I mean, it's just, but in a major Boston sports thing, I agree with the whole thought that these teams are, it's unreal that we get this, and I'm not a person that takes for granted, and I don't think any of us are, and the people who do are just, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome to be who we are and to live in this era that we just get to watch everybody just be, each team they're honest and arms raised each other in the city, that everyone wants to see everyone do well and be the next team to have the parade and do the next thing. It's awesome.
Peter?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll just be right back in it again. I mean, I'd love to see Tom get that 5th one over Montana. That'd be a huge record, pretty much solidify his greatness for all eternity. But yeah, I think getting this, I think the franchise should be, I don't know, it just seems, I feel really optimistic about it. I don't think Tom's just going to, right into the sunset with this one. I feel like he's got this late career Super Bowl win, and I think he's going to go at it even harder now that he has it, and he's got that in his pocket that he did it. So, yeah, I mean, I feel good about it. So we'll see. This is my second duck boat rally of college, so I'll be there.
You going?
I don't have class till 3 o'clock. I can go.
Oh, screw you. Railroad sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I would add is I liked, like you mentioned, like how it's really great in this market that all the teams really care about each other and really support each other. I think I mentioned it to my roommate last night that it's really great when you roll through Instagram and see like the Sox, the Bs, and the Cs. They all made this like real great graphic congratulating the Patriots, and they all do it all for each other. It's really cool, nice to see. The camaraderie is important, and it's part of why we're all so ravenously obsessed with sports in our town. So. Great. I think it's probably the most satisfying win out of the 4, definitely, without a doubt.
100%.
Oh my God! You're preventing a dynasty. You're preventing Sherman from talking. It's oh my God.
2-4.
Yeah, 2-4. I love that one. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I stand by my original statement at the beginning of our podcast that was the best Super Bowl win we've had. I mean, don't get me wrong, 0-1 was legendary. It puts you on the map. I mean, Brady leading the charge, Vinny field goal. I mean, it's unforgettable. But, between the whole BS with the Deflategate and, Sherman, you mad, bro, and, the clash of two ultimate titans. So the first Super Bowl was this whole underdog story, like Tom Brady out of nowhere comes back and wins. And this Super Bowl was Pete Carroll, the Legion of Boom, Marshawn Lynch, and this young kid Russell Wilson who's taking the world by storm versus your stoic Tom Brady and, Jesus incarnate, Bill Belichick, the mastermind. It was, I loved it.
Dark Lord, rise again.
I watched it once already. I'm probably going to watch it tonight before bed.
Way to be. All right, guys, that's the pod. We're going to take this time to say thanks to anybody who's going to watch it in the future, because God knows nobody's watching it right now. But in the future, when we share it around, maybe people will like it and catch on. So, for Run the Jewels podcast production, I'm Pat Julian. That was Emily Julian, Peter Julian, and the furious Nikki Knobs, Toyaz. We appreciate you guys coming on and hanging out with us. And you guys can say quick goodbyes, and we'll sign off.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. Probably the game, 100% Robert Kraft with his cufflinks. Pretty much awesome. So hopefully he has 2 on each set next year. And let you guys know, my roommates have a sports blog out called Over the Grill. I think it's overthegrillsports.com. I don't know. Check it out. Google it. They're pretty intense about getting articles out every day.
Oh, good.
Overthegrill.com. So that's a nice little blog spot kind of site. So check it out.
Good plug, good healthy plug.
Oh yeah, this is cool. This will be fun if we get to do this, and hopefully we can get people into it, and we can bring more opinions and teach us some things, and maybe do some live shit, and it'll be fun.
Nikki Knobs, our first official guest, baby. What do you want to say?
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully I can come back if you guys will have me.
Many times you'll be asked to come back, my friend. And
I've been writing for Football Nation, so feel free to follow me on Football Nation. I've been writing for them, or you can find me on Facebook or Twitter.
We should shout out our Twitter handles here, and people can get some followers.
I know. We need a real production here.
Shout them out.
Lower thirds, Pat. We talked about this.
Lower thirds. We'll get the next one. We'll do lower thirds. But anybody who wants to shout them out, shout them out.
I'm good. They'll hear from me. They'll hear from me.
You won't be able to ignore. Alrighty. Well, this has been a Run the Jewels podcast production. This was MVP Super Bowl 49 rundown. We thank all y'all for coming out and watching. And way to work, people. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.